There we go. After having a stent in my heart down in Florida, this all started back in the spring when I was having trouble breathing, doing the hills. I seemed to be getting out of breath a lot. So I went, I thought it was pollen and stuff like that. But when I went to the doctor, I had a stress test, a nuclear stress test, and I also had a echocardiogram done of my heart. And they told me everything was great, nothing's wrong, great blood flow. So away I went, but it just kept getting harder and harder to do these things. So this is the Riverwalk Trail in Rock Hill. Runs along the river for about 4 miles. Got a lot of hills to go up, so I thought I'd try this trail out to see how my energy was. This is a fairly steep hill, and although I was getting out of breath by the time I reached the top here, I wasn't in any pain. Unlike when we were loading the motorhome to go to Florida, I had to keep stopping, taking a break, because not only was I out of breath, but my chest and arms hurt. So this is a good test. This was fairly hard hill to get up. That's a steep one coming the other way. Well, I made it to the top. Although I was a little out of breath, it didn't hurt. Now it's down the other side. So after we got to Florida, we camped at Park of the Palms. I could hardly walk around the park without having to stop and sit down. It was getting progressively worse. I tried to ride my bike, but that didn't work at all. After a couple days at Park of the Palms, we went down to Port Charlotte. This is where it really started hurting. Just walking from the motorhome into the house, back out again. I started taking Mucinex and cough syrup, thinking it was congestion in my chest because it hurt so much. Definitely should wear my coat. We have been in Florida about a week now, and the pain was getting really, really bad. I could hardly sleep at night. I told Chris needed to go to urgent care in the morning. So we decided that's what we'd do as soon as they opened up at 8 o'clock. So the next morning it was up early, ready to go to urgent care. It was just a struggle to get into the car, which was parked right behind the motorhome. But I did it. Fortunately, the urgent care wasn't far from the house, only 5 minutes or so. Chris and I got out of the car and went over to the door. By now the pain was continuous. When we got to the door, there was a sign on the door that said, "Return to your car and call this number." I just collapsed at the door. Started tapping on the door with my ring. In a few seconds, 3 nurses came running to the door. She said, "What's wrong?" I said, "My chest and arm hurt." She said to one nurse, "Call 911. She said to the other nurse, "Go get a wheelchair, quick." They helped me up onto the wheelchair. They helped me into the building and gave me 4 baby aspirins to chew on. Put a oxygen up my nose. In a few seconds, maybe it was a few minutes, the ambulance was there. They put me on the gurney, loaded me up into the ambulance.
Now we're gonna go up the other side.
Then they put a nitroglycerin tab under my tongue. The nurse in the ambulance told me the same thing that the nurse at the urgent care had told me. Try to relax, you're having a heart attack. Yeah, right. I said, "No, I'm just a little congested." Yeah, put this nitroglycerin under your tongue. It seemed to take a little while to get going. Chris told me later that they had locked themselves out of the driver's compartment, but they had a spare key somewhere under the vehicle. So off to the hospital we went, which wasn't very far, just around the corner. They wheeled me into the emergency room, and then into a room there in the emergency room. And then they put a nitroglycerin patch on my I said, "No, I'm just congested." She said, "No, you're having a heart attack. Relax."
Oh.
After a little while, a surgeon comes in and says, "We need to do a heart catheterization." And I said, "Well, can I wait till I get to Rock Hill, back home?" She said, "I don't think you'll make it that far." So I said, "Okay." Her name was Dr. Stratton, which happens to be the name of an old family friend. After a while, they got me a room. The 2 nurses came in. The head nurse's name was Sarah. And the student nurse's name was Hannah. So I have a niece named Sarah and a cousin named Hannah. How interesting is that?
How you doing?
The next day was surgery. The doctor said she found an artery 99% clogged. She installed a stent. The pain was gone. I could breathe again. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, and the nurse's name was
What's up, baby cakes?
Nancy.
Whew, it smells great.
All in all, it was quite an experience. Probably couldn't have happened in a better place. Oh, and my last roommate, his name was Bob. In case you didn't know, Nancy is my sister's name and Bob is my brother's name. Bob and I shared a room for a long time in our youth. Oh, and on the tray table in the hospital room, there was Baby Yoda.